Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Evelyn and today we are starting yet another reading vlog. Today we are starting another arc for another tour and I'm really excited about this one because I really did not expect to get picked for this because this is one of my most anticipated books of the year, and so I was like, oh, it's a long shot, I'm small, but look what I have with me. Ah! It's an arc of Miss Meteor by Tehlor Mejia and Mclemore. It actually got sent by accident to Oklahoma, and I was in Iowa, so my parents had to mail it to me because they're lovely human beings. They did it. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for sponsoring this video. So I received this arc in collaboration with Hear Our Voices Book Tours. They are a book tour company that focuses on giving Own Voices arcs to Own Voices reviewers. And so as this book has both LGBT, specifically I believe bisexual representation, and Latinx representation, specifically Mexican American representation, I got it. I got an arc. So yeah, I don't necessarily look like the girls on the cover, but my family is Mexican American. So this video is going to be posted Monday, September the 21st, but if you're watching it, I have put a link to the tour schedule in the description. The tour has been going on since the 17th, so there is already plenty of content for you to go watch. And the book is set to release tomorrow, if you're watching this on Monday, which means you still have a few hours to pre-order the book. Or else, just go check it out tomorrow. I am about to start reading. I'm gonna take a look at the first few chapters and then I'll let you know how I'm feeling. So remember how I said I was gonna just read the first few chapters and then check back in with you? I'm on page 102. I am so into this book. Oh my gosh. One of the two main characters, Chicky, is pansexual, which I don't identify as pan, I identify as bi, but multi-gender attraction pals have to stick together. And I was reading the part where she talks about not being able to say anything or be feeling like she's hit her weirdness quota already. And I really hope that she finds the courage to step out of the box. Yeah. And now I'm crying. So, yeah, you could say that I'm enjoying this book. I just watched Rocky's Latinx Heritage Month TBR video that she did totally in Spanish. Y'all, I understood part of it. Like, every 3 words. I very much am a beginner to the Spanish language. In fact, like, I literally had Spanish class today and learned, like, how the numbers work. They do make more sense than in French, which I appreciate. You still have to mash up some words, but it's definitely not as bad as freaking 420's 10 being the word for 90 in French. But yeah, no, okay, so, but I've been learning a little bit of Spanish. I've been purposefully listening to more things in Spanish. And my teacher talks very much in Spanish, probably more than I'm comfortable with in class. And so I'm watching this video, and I do have the English subtitles, but I'm trying to like not look at them. I'm trying to look up like at Rocky's lovely face. And like I was kind of getting it. Like, it's kind of understanding. I guess, wait. Technically, oh my gosh, it's just after midnight, so happy Latinx Heritage Month, y'all. The Latinx Heritage Month runs from September 15th to October 15th, and later today, I guess, since it is 12:03 a.m., since it's the 15th, today is release day for Each of Us a Desert. If you haven't watched my reading vlog for Each of Us a Desert, I will put a link somewhere here, and you should totally go check that out because that's one of the best books I've read all year, hands down. Just a beautiful, wonderful story that I cannot stop thinking about, and so y'all should go. You can buy it now. You can own it. Yay! Hello. So, oh wait, let me grab my book. Because we match today. I have not actually read any more of Miss Meteor today, but I'm going to do that. But first, we're going to attempt tortillas. The recipe that I have from my mother is more of a guideline, I guess, is what she said to me. So, we're gonna see. I have done this a couple times, but always with assistance from either my mother or my grandmother. So, now it is just me. And I may fail spectacularly. No, literally, it says pan. You wrote pan. I was like, it seemed weird, but I was like, okay. Alright. Thank you. Bye. It looks good. Oh no, it's gonna fall. It's not round, but it exists. Okay. Is that a tortilla? No. Is it something? Yes. sitting here in my kitchen waiting for my lunch to be ready, and I'm just gonna snack on this tortilla and do a Miss Meteor vlog wrap up. So I think you could probably tell that I really enjoyed this book based on the fact that it made me sob. So earlier in the video I was talking about how Chiki's descriptions of her growing up queer in a small town mentality were hitting very close to home for me, particularly the instances in which she was talking about feeling as if there was like a quota for weirdness that she had already met, and that if she were to be out and proud, that she would be surpassing that. And damn if that wasn't relatable, like so relatable. I feel that way frequently when I'm home, just because of the nature of small town, probably not as small as Meteor is described to be, but definitely like small enough that like most everybody has a reputation. I was not as closeted as Chiki is in this story. I did come out to my parents and I came out to my friends, and that was it. I didn't broadcast it, I didn't go to GSA, I didn't do any sort of thing that would have drawn attention to that fact. Now here I'm, you know, not hiding it from people, but I am definitely not like, again, broadcasting it. Here by Iowa, on the internet, I'm completely and totally chill with it. I'm reviewing this book as an Own Voices reviewer for Multigender Attraction, and I am definitely like fairly comfortable with talking about my sexuality here. But then like around my extended family, no, not at all. There's layers to coming out and being comfortable with people perceiving you, right? And getting past that first hurdle is the hardest thing. Like, for example, I knew for months before I told my parents. I told a few friends, and I hadn't told my parents yet, and I knew they would be chill with it. Growing up, they'd taken me to visit their one lesbian friend and her partner. They were totally cool when my friend Leo came out as trans. In fact, that's kind of how I came out to them, was Leo was going to be coming over to our house, and I was schooling them on pronoun usage and explaining the gender spectrum to them and how that was different than the sexuality spectrum. And they went, "Hey, Evelyn, where do you fall on this?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I guess this is it." And I told them, right? It was very casual, but I wouldn't have if it hadn't come up right then and there. I wasn't planning anything because I was very afraid that it only extended so far, right? Their ability to be accepting only extended so far, which is something that is touched on in this book, right? Kind of the opposite. I was afraid that their ability to be supportive only extended to people outside of our family, and that it would be like a, well, no daughter of mine sort of situation, like super unrealistic if you know my parents, right? But anxiety it makes you think silly things sometimes. In this book, it's sort of the opposite. It's, well, it's okay when it's my family, because that's my family, but I'm gonna not support these other people, which is, you know, such an important distinction in conversation, right? Like, just because you're tolerant of one particular case does not make you not homophobic or transphobic or queer phobic in general. I haven't ever like planned a coming out moment. All of my coming out moments have been the opportunity arose and I was like, it's now or never sort of thing. And I think that is why I got so emotional during a particular scene in this book, because, you know, every time you do it like that and you're not sure and you're just jumping and grabbing at a chance, hoping, it's like, it has always turned out fine for me, but the possibility that it might not turn out fine is so overwhelmingly terrifying that even though every time I've done it I've been fine because I trust the people that I'm telling, like, it's just so emotional. And so reading about just the absolute worst, almost sort of now or never coming out situation, at least for me, like someone with like terrible anxiety. The scenario that's set up here, like, I would die. I would die of like anxiety and shame. And then having these other characters sort of come together and support their friend, and it was just like too much, and I like burst into tears. Also, there's a moment in here where Cheeky talks about discovering the label pansexual and knowing that that was like the right one for her and it was comfortable and it felt right and she was going to revel in it privately, reminded me that once I'd finally accepted that I was bi, once I'd stopped being like, oh no, you have to be straight, you have to be normal. Not that like straight is the default, but that's what I was thinking in my head, like as I was grappling with this whole question, is, oh no, this is just another thing that's going to make me different and make me strange, and I don't want that. Even though I had friends who were already out and I loved them and I was so supportive of them, there was something about it being me that made me terrified, which was why I was worried that something about it being me would be a problem for other people too, because it was a problem with me first. And once I came to accept that, even though I hadn't told anyone, I remember I wrote it down in my journal. It was like, my name is Evelyn Harper, I'm like 14 years old, or however fucking old I was. These are some things about me. One of them is I'm bisexual. And that felt so good. Like claiming that space for myself and overcoming that little bit of fear. And so every time I read about a character claiming more space for themselves in the world, I just get so emotional. And this book did that in a big way. Not only with Cheeky and her coming out, but also with Lita and her, you know, being able to stay on Earth and not turn into Stardust because she has to find space for herself. I would be remiss if I did not gush about Cole for a second. So Cole is one of the love interests in this book. He is transgender, and he's the only transgender guy at their school, and so he's sort of like the pioneer for this sort of thing, and he's had to sort of play by the rules if he wants to be accepted, right? And throughout the course of the book, he doesn't have a point of view, but you do see him sort of pushing at those boundaries. And I love him so much. I love how just unabashedly proud he is, both of himself and his friends, and how he is not afraid to talk about these things, right? And the little tiny moments that we get with him and Chicky being like the LGBT power squad that they are, amazing. I would read like unlimited pages of just this core 4 group of friends that we follow, plus the sisters too. I would read unlimited pages of just them bantering and talking, and just like, I am obsessed with this friend group. I can't connect with these characters on the level of skin color and the racial things. I can connect on the cultural things, right? Like, I know what they're talking about when they talk about the food and some of the traditions, because, you know, like, that's stuff that's been passed down in my family too. Like, literally, we are from Redcliffe. But I'm white, right? I'm Latinx, but I'm white. And so ain't nobody ever gonna tell me to go back to Mexico. Nobody looks at me and even considers the fact that my family might be from Mexico. That is a privilege. I think it's important for me, especially as somebody who wants to participate in this culture, to be aware of the racial aspects that other people who participate in the culture have to deal with, and of the ways that I can help counteract that. So, like I said earlier, one of the ways that I'm learning is by seeking out Latinx stories by people of color and about people of color, and supporting those stories so that more of them can be made, right? Like, when I write books, I am definitely going to call them own voices when there's bisexual characters. I'm not sure if I'll call them own voices for Latinx or not. I might specify Latinx diaspora, because that is what informs my writing. When I'm writing about culture, it's from a standpoint of someone who's been distanced from that culture by circumstance. I was able to find myself even just a little bit in these girls, and I know there are queer Latinx women of color out there who are going to find even more of themselves in this book, and it just makes me emotional. I'm gonna cry again, y'all, if I don't stop talking. Like, these are some of my favorite characters that I've read all year, and I cannot wait for y'all to meet them. Just a reminder, Miss Meteor releases tomorrow if you're watching this on video release day, and if you're watching it later, then it's out. Congratulations. You can go buy it, and I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend it. Also, remember to check out the link in the description so that you can see all of the other cool tour stuff that's been going on. With that being said, my name is Evelyn. I make new videos every magical Monday, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.